friend, and welcome to your reading for the week of November 18th, 2024. My name is Christy, and I am delighted to be here as more than just a set of hands. Moving forward, this is what we got going on. As with all readings, take what serves you well and release what does not. One of the most delightful things about being human is that we have free will choice. So no matter what messages Spirit has for us this week, we always have the power to change them. All right, so this week I feel very drawn to the moon. So we will start with a card from the Moonology Messages Oracle, followed by, sorry, I should just look down and pick it up, followed by a Moonology Oracle card, and then we will consult our friends in the tarot for a strength, weakness, and advice reading for the week. There we go, a little jingle jangle. Okay, let's go. All right, so what guidance does the Moonology Oracle deck have for us? I'm feeling a little bit thrown off because my phone is full of storage and I've had to stop. This is my fifth reading of the day, and I have had to redo a bunch of them because of the storage, and then I have to go find the space and everything. I'm pretty sure we're going to be good, but I just feel it's so interesting. I've had a lot of stop starts today, so I don't know if that's the case for you this week as well, as like having a lot of stop starts. But I am continuing. I want to make sure I'm ready to wrap this up for this morning. Okay, so what guidance does the Moonology Messages Oracle have for generators? And it is patience. Maybe we are going to get a similar reading here. Okay, look at this gorgeous card. Okay, so we have moon cycles. So the cycles tell us that, everything is temporary, right? Just like the cycles of the moon are repetitive, but they change every day. And so you are being guided to accept patience into your life this week, to recognize that everything is temporary. And all we have to do is to look at the phases of the moon to do so. I have done a couple of new moon manifestation rituals and whatnot. And in that, the guide for that, my friend Jody Ann, the guide for that was to, when you set an intention and we start with the new moon when there is almost nothing to see in the sky, just a teeny little sliver, is that when we set those intentions and as the moon moves through the cycles, we can look up to the moon and it's revealing of itself throughout the next couple of weeks. And what happens is that shows us that we're making progress towards that manifestation. So anyways, I just got that. But we need to have patience with those kinds of things. Actually, this, like I said, this is the fifth reading I've done today. Well, more like the 12th, but it is the fifth reading, and patience has really been a strong theme. It's been a really strong theme throughout this week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in the general reading, which I'll do next. That's always my sixth and final reading of the week, is the, Okay, so for our generators, again, we have with our Moonology Oracle card, we have emotions, wrong side. Emotions are running high, right? And we've got the super moon. And well, didn't we just wrap up the super moon in Taurus? So this is confirmation that what you're feeling is real, that we need to have patience, not just with ourselves, but with others. And with the purple on this card, I'm being very drawn to the crown chakra, which is that connection to our higher self. So tuning into higher self this week will be very important for you, generator. So maybe you do some meditations, we slow down, we do some stretching, some yoga, right? So just recognize that emotions are running high. That is okay. But one of the things that I want to point out is that we get to choose how long we stay in our activated states, right? So our bodies, our minds, and our spirit love a sense of balance and equilibrium, right? We call it homeostasis, right? And that's when everything is just kind of cool, right? If we look at our emotions on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being extremely low and 10 being extremely high, in terms of positive, right? Then most people, we want to like kind of live our lives anywhere in between like that kind of 4 and 6. And that's where we find homeostasis. But when we have something that really upsets us, we will typically go low down to a 2 or maybe even a 1. Or when something is really great and exciting, we go up and we live in like this 9-10 zone. But we can't stay high or low and be healthy with our mental health. Okay. So we want to be able to like, because you can choose, your vibration, right? Like you choose it through your thoughts, through your beliefs, that kind of stuff. Law of attraction, basics. So maybe it's a time to just do a little bit of law of attraction, maybe listen to some of that. So if you need help coming out of that really like high emotion space, because again, this doesn't have to be bad, but we've had there's been a lot of disruption in the world, and particularly in the United States in the last couple weeks. And there's many people who have really significant emotions around that, and some of them are high and some of them are low. So regardless of where you are, it's important to recognize that and to come back to homeostasis, okay? But also give yourself some time and some patience, but remember, you get to decide, okay? All right, let's move towards with the tarot. Okay, so again, we're doing strength and weakness and advice. Okay, so your strength this week, generator, is, okay, we've got the 8 of Pentacles, and weakness, 5 of Pentacles, and advice, interesting, is, we're going to clarify this one for sure, but it is the 5 of Wands. Okay, so we've got 2 5s, that's significant. And 5s can be about challenges, okay? So that's okay. There's some challenges this week, but you've got it, okay? So, but wouldn't that make sense that if you have some challenges this week, that your emotions would be running high attached to that, right? So that does make perfect sense to me. And the fact that patience is going to be. So now, your strength is that you are good at what you do. All right. So there is still more to learn. But when we get to the 8s, we're looking at stability. We're actually looking at structure. So in the terms of your resources, which Pentacles typically, and our resources aren't just, money and our material possessions. They're also our time. What do we put our energy into? All right. Now the 8 is, we are looking at sometimes like there's more to learn, but you already your stuff. Okay. So in other area of your life this is, now it is kind of pointing towards work. It's like, your stuff, but just because you know what you're doing doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you. Also doesn't mean that it could, right? Or maybe there's a next level that you are ready to do, or maybe you're ready to make a change, right? But the strength is you know your stuff, okay? And that's really, really good, because as a generator, you should be spending in order to help the rest of us with our, maintain that energy in the world, it's really important that you enjoy what you do. And so, and again, most people don't have the luxury of having both a high paying job and loving it, right? Back when I was doing my counseling master's, the last course that I took was on careers and stuff, and helping people make decisions about that. And one of the things that I learned was that for most people, you either live to work or work to live. And so, and there's a very small minority where it is both. So, for you, generator, finding the thing that is both would be your ultimate goal in life, because that's the thing. When you do what you love, you then create all of this energy for the rest of us, right? So important, all right? So now, weakness. All right. Now the weakness here, so we've got the 5 of Pentacles, and this is a card of not being open for help, not asking for help. Okay, so a weakness here for you, generator, is that, you might be feeling you can't be vulnerable. Asking for help is not it is vulnerable, but it's a strength, right? So and this is and right now this week, this is a weakness for you. So the guidance here is to be open to asking for help. So what's happening here is we've got these two rather destitute people, and they are out in the cold, and but their help is like right through the door, right? Like all they have to do is go into this place of worship, and they will receive food, and they will receive warmth, and they will receive comfort, right? But they're refusing to go in, and so they're not willing. It's almost like they're too proud. Okay, they're too proud to go in and accept help from something, right? So, well, from in this case, from this institution, but it can be from wherever, from friend, from family, from a coworker, doesn't matter. So don't be afraid to ask for help this week, right? Especially, yeah, that's good. Now, so interesting. So the advice is the five of is the five of wands. And it's so interesting because this is a card of conflict, but it's also a card of petty conflict. Like these are like teenagers kind of like play fighting, right? So it can mean that there's something in the workplace or at home that is kind of like this little petty argument, or it's kind of feels like high school, right? So if you have this week, right, the advice is to recognize it and not dip into it, okay? Instead of like stooping, actually, I'm not going to clarify this, okay? Instead of stooping to their level, you are to ask for help, and that will lead to you knowing more, okay? It'll lead to like that next step, right? So again, often we think that asking for help is vulnerable, or it can be uncomfortable because you have to be vulnerable. But like you can't have genuine human connection without being vulnerable, right? Okay, so this week, generator, we have got patience, just like me, and these recordings. This is the reading that you're meant to have, so that's important, right? Other than the other stop starts that I had, right? If emotions are running high, okay, if emotions are running high, don't take the high road, okay? Take the high road when emotions are running high, and don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? That's what I have for you this week, generators. Thank you for being with me, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.